Hello my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for an album review. The new Wolves in the Throne Room LP, Celestial Lineage. These guys are a West Coast metal band who just about everybody seems to have an opinion on. I'm sure Cal Chesta even has an opinion on them. If you got wolves in your throne room, you should probably call an exterminator or a dag catcher. I hate Cal Chesta. But seriously, with these guys, American black metal represent. Now these guys, with 2007's Two Hunters and the album that came before that, Diadem of 12 Stars, these guys were creating this really vast and open style of black metal. It sounded like a black metal ocean. That's how massive these records sound. Atmospheric black metal isn't new at all. It's not a new concept, but these guys brought it to a different stylistic level, to the point where it was almost like shoegaze music. And these guys also kind of brought American black metal to a new level of popularity too. It just kind of put black metal on the table as being a worthy discussion for people who weren't just black metal fans. Now, as American atmospheric black metal was getting bigger, Wolves in the Throne Room went in a kind of different direction with their next LP, Black Cascade. There were still some effects on this album, but Wolves in the Throne Room stripped a lot of the reverb away and just put all the guitars, drums, and vocals in plain sight. It was a very kind of naked direction for the band. Now, this new LP, Celestial Lineage, this feels like a much more kind of logical follow-up to Two Hunters. Everything that made 12 Stars and Two Hunters unique records is back and kind of taken up to a higher level. I feel like the female vocals on this album are spotlighted more. There are louder sound effects and field recordings, and some chimes pop in a little bit. There's some pretty noticeable synthesizers on here, a spot where I think I'm hearing harp, and some male choruses too. The atmosphere from Wolves in the Throne Room's earlier work is back too. It's not as high as it was on Two Hunters and 12 Stars, and I'm liking that because it's kind of made this LP feel more heavy than it is hazy. But I have a pretty big gripe about this LP. Something that's really holding me back and keeping me from loving it. I feel like these guys haven't really pushed themselves past their previous efforts to really kind of make this feel like a new album. This, to me, kind of feels like an old album, but with some slightly new additions. The freshest out of all the tracks on here to me feels like the first song, which starts off with these really kind of empowering female vocals, has all these new righteous guitar leads that these guys haven't really explored yet. But you know, as beautiful as other tracks are, like Woodland Cathedral, where you've got these female vocals singing over a really kind of primal and sparse beat with these soft, distorted guitars in the background, it's not really like new territory for the band. Another track like Subterranean Initiation just comes on really hard, but it feels like a little bit of deja vu for me. Wolves in the Throne Room throw some new sounds and ideas into a couple interludes on this album, but outside of that, I feel like they're pretty much aiming at the same target, the same exact target that they aimed for on previous albums. It's a target that I think they've already hit the bullseye on. It makes me think of another American black metal band with third and fourth albums, Agalloch. Their third LP, Ashes Against the Grain, is way different than Marrow of the Spirit. Not only did Agalloch change what production and what instrumentation they surround their songs with, but they changed how they write their songs too. Wolves in the Throne Room, on the other hand, in my opinion, are just kind of writing songs the same way that they have been. It's like the same build-ups, the same concepts, the same anthemic-esque melodies thrown in the same spots at the end of these same 10-minute tracks. There are similar chord progressions too. I feel like the only difference this time around is that it's done with more volume and more layers. And you know what? That has its merits too. Consistency is important. And if you're into Wolves in the Throne Room sound, then there aren't really going to be any potholes on this release for you. And the thing is, I liked this too when I was listening to it. It's not like I was scrambling to turn it off. But then again, if I was given the choice to listen to this, or 12 Stars, or Two Hunters, I'm going to opt for one of those two albums before this. And those two albums already sit in my collection. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing. Thought it was decent. Like I said, not really any potholes on this, but it's not offering anything refreshing to me that makes me want to return to it. But what do you think of this thing? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? Why? And what do you think I should review next? Thanks for watching. Anthony Fantano, Wolves in the Throne Room, Celestial Lineage, forever.